Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to do a presentation about types and functions of storytelling. And this is my content. So, the first question is why storytelling matters, what is classroom storytelling, and how stories begin, claiming the floor, what sustains a story, narrative diversity, co authorship, and dual audience, what stories do after and long-term effects, and also we have some key takeaways. So, why storytelling matters? We know that in classrooms we actually do a lot of storytelling techniques. We talk about stories. We tell a content while using storytelling techniques. Like we're not just standing there and talking about the content, but we actually create a story which is relevant with the content, and then we show the story to the audience, to our students, and it actually matters a lot because it actually creates like a powerful classroom interactions and shapes meanings, attentions, and emotions between the students and of course the teacher. And it's like a learning resource, not a digression. So it actually helps us to learn better and more efficiently while teaching about topics or learning about the topics. And then what is classroom storytelling? So classroom storytelling is something that I just talked about, and it actually connects students' lived experiences to academic content, and it allows emotional or complex ideas to be expressed in a form others can understand, while also helping students feel seen as members of the classroom community. So while doing some classroom storytelling, actually, we encourage our students to be seen in the classroom community and after the classroom community, like a lot of communities, and it actually helps them to understand it better and memorize it better, actually, yeah. And how stories begin. So stories are instigated with questions, objects, and classroom events. So there will be some questions like, what do you expect from this topic, or some random questions, I don't know. And it actually the reason why a storytelling begins, or like some objects. We'll have some objects to talk about, or classroom events. Like we do some events and we're gonna talk about them. Like we can use storytelling techniques. And now we have the claiming the floor. So stories claim extended talk initiated by teachers and students, and story prompts are flexible. Yeah, of course they are flexible, and they're initiated by teachers and also students. And then we have what sustains a story. So stories are carried forward by recognizable narrative structures, such as a problem and outcome, which help listeners stay oriented. And these structures guide attention, but are not like rigid rules. Like that, they don't have any rules, but it helps you to have more focus on the topic, and it guides like an attention. So we have like a problem, outcome, and like narrative structures, maybe, and they help listeners to stay oriented. And then we have narrative diversity. So stories vary by like structure, linearity, tellability, and moral stance. So there are different types of stories, and they can vary by these topics, these sentences, not sentences, but there are some different storytelling techniques and s- different ways of stories, I guess. And then we have co-authorship and dual audience. So in classrooms, stories are rarely told alone. Of course, there will be an audience, and not the teachers just talk. Like students may actually wanna con conduct, or have some help with the stories, and listeners respond verbally and non-verbally. Like they listen to it with some maybe mimics or some facial expressions, sorry, or maybe just talking about the stories, and they can shape the direction and meaning of the story. They can shape the direction and turn the story into something new, something very cool maybe. And students also adapt their storytelling to a dual audience, like peers and the teachers. So students also give some storytelling techniques, and they also storytell to the peers, to our peers, and to the teacher. And what stories do you after? Actually, they invite more stories. Of course, if you listen to one story, then you want to listen to other stories as well, and it reshapes the interaction between the students, or the interaction between students and the teacher, or just the teachers maybe, and it strengthens the community. Of course, there will be a more like a strong community with more strong senses of individuals, and also like a group work. Like storytelling is not always alone. It's actually always with somebody, right? We do storytelling with at least one person. So it strengthens our community and our interactions. And long-term effects, there are some long-term effects as well, like it supports identity and engagement, of course. It builds mutual respect to each other and counters limiting labels. There aren't any labels anymore with storytelling techniques and storytelling. And um, supporting identity is very important because every individual is different from each other. We know that in a classroom with like 20 people, there are 20 different individuals, 20 different stories, 20 different things to talk about. So they're gonna have more like an respect to their identity, and they will embrace their identity, and they will be more engaged in the classroom as well. And we have some key takeaways, of course. So the Into True and Beyond framework helps us see how stories begin, unfold, and shape classroom life. Ultimately, storytelling is not an add-on to teaching. It is a fundamental way learning and community are built. So we're not just adding the storytelling in the classroom. It is literally in the classroom. Every day we hear like a story about something from our teachers, or we talk about our stories in the classroom. So we cannot just differ storytelling from classroom interactions. They are very included in classroom interactions, and they are very important to, I think, look for. Like, if you're gonna be a teacher one day, I think you should be able to know the difference, and not the difference, but some similarities, and using these storytelling techniques and storytelling better in the classroom makes it easier to understand, engage, and have more fun in the classroom, I think. That's all I'm gonna talk about today, so thank you for listening.